are now talking to MLB content creator and owner of Roughshot Supply Company, Jake Savicki. Jake, what's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? You're like just a shot of an energy drink out here, huh?
Well, yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, I love it. I know. I love that.
Man, you got to shoot. Speedy, you got to shoot. You don't miss the shot. You don't miss the shot. Bullseye, right, Speedy? How do we hit it? How do we hit it?
You missed 100% of the shots you don't take.
No doubt.
I mean, he doesn't listen. We need to teach him how to shoot. I mean, he has to launch it.
I know how to throw darts for a bullseye. You just got to hope it doesn't get aimed at you.
Well, that's true. I don't want you to take any shots at me, especially in many different areas of the world. But anyways, Jake, a lot to get into, obviously, in the MLB, as we found out just a few days ago who the MVPs are. We all knew it. It was Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge. What are your thoughts to these two beaten down bullies over there in the National League and the American League winning the MVPs?
Yeah, well, first off, good to see you guys again. Nice to
meet you as well.
The MVP, I don't think that you can do anything to say those two guys that won it don't deserve it. That's for sure. But I've always made the case. I don't know, an MVP to me. And Judge, I think, had one error all season. He made a huge error in the World Series, but that was the only one he made. That was it. So, yes, he played good defense. Yes, he hit the ball, deserves it. But if they were in the same league, I'm taking Bobby Witt Jr. as my MVP over Ohtani as a DH. Crazy, I know. A lot of people think that's weird, but you're talking most valuable player. I just looked at KC. I think heard this earlier today. I think they had like one of the lowest on-base percentages in the league. And to me, man, getting where they got, doing what they did, obviously pitching, but a guy like Bobby Witt, who's going to be at the top of a lot of offensive categories that matter, and then play a Gold Glove shortstop. I mean, Jabba, you're on the mound. That's a guy you want on your team. You also want a guy driving runs in like Judge, but I don't know. I mean, he gets on, he's fast, he does everything I would want a guy to do offensively, and then he plays a Gold Glove shortstop. So I don't have a problem. I don't think you can argue with either guy. They're historic seasons, Shohei especially, but both deserving. But I just like seeing a guy that contributes. I know people are talking about Lindor. His season wasn't nearly close enough to Judge's or to Ohtani's for Judge's, but it's like, I don't know. I just like to see the all-around player, and Judge was that, but a DH and Ohtani is I don't know. He deserved it, but I would prefer to see somebody that plays every day in the field.
No, I don't disagree with you on that, but at the same time, like, how in the aspect, do I want that up the middle? 100% I do. But at the same time, I'm going to get 50 and 50. That's never been done before. And he's still doing it at a pace where he's continued to get better. Like, So how, like, and if it wasn't for what he was doing, then Bobby Witt is by far, like, I get exactly what he's doing. And you look at his numbers and how he's the first person to be a triple threat in the aspect of average, on-base percentage, and all the other metrics that they have, right? But at the same time, how in any way can you take away what Judge did and Ohtani? And now he's going to come back at the same time. Other than Frank Robinson, there's only been two people that ever won MVP on both leagues, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the first one to ever win an MVP by just being a DH.
Yeah.
But when you go 50-50, that's never been done in this game. And I love this game. I was fortunate enough to play it for a while, as we both were. That's never been done. So when it's never been done, you can't take anything away from that.
I do agree with you. That's why I said they both deserve it. There's nothing you can do. But Ohtani is one of those. I mean, every time
he's not human.
He's like Michael Jordan when he played. When he missed a game-winning shot, you were more confused than if he hit it. Like, you're like, what do you mean? What do you mean he missed the shot? Like, when Ohtani got to the plate and he didn't do something good, you're like, what happened? What do you mean? Like, there are a few guys in sports history, like a Tiger Woods, that you look at and go, we expect him, no matter how difficult, no matter how much pressure, no matter what it is, we expect him to come through. And Ohtani was that. So, Jen, I agree with you on that 100%. Bobby Witt is a guy that I want to see have a 15-year. He's going to stay healthy and be a Hall of Famer. But I like seeing that. But yeah,
First of all, give me Bobby Witt every day of the week
Mhm.
because he's a grinder. He works. But at the same time, we see it when it comes to fruition, right? These two dudes in the highest spectrum in the level, like they weren't great in the World Series. Let's just be honest, right? The two faces that we're putting on, right? Both MVPs. Judge has 2, Ohtani has 3, right? They didn't do shit in the playoffs. Didn't do shit.
Yep.
And you know what? That's why it takes a conglomerate of people to make sure that you get that opportunity. But they're still the face of what it is because they've done and they've proven to what they've done.
Let me ask you this from being there. A guy like Judge here struggled the whole postseason. He had 1 or 2. I mean, what do you have? 3 at bats that were like he had his moment, hit a bomb, and maybe drove a run in on a double or something. But literally, maybe 2 at bats throughout the whole postseason that I think he really changed the game with. But a guy like that, the home runs, the 60 home runs, and then you get into playoffs and you just get diced up by everybody, whether it's Judge's fault I'm under the impression that when I see something like that, this is the playoffs. You've been there, when you face a Judge in October, it is significantly different than a reliever facing him in the middle of June down by 8. They're like, fuck it, here you go. Throw him the ball, see what he does. And he hits a bomb and you go, all right, we're just trying to get out of here. It's hot. I want to go home. But so when you get to that point in the playoffs, is it really, I mean, I don't want to say exposing him, but are the pitchers ramping it up and they're that much better in the postseason because every pitch is so important compared to the 162 games where he probably saw a lot of pitches that obviously weren't as important? And they really, like, if they're missing on Judge in June, they might leak one over the plate. If they're missing on Judge in October, it's not leaking over the plate. It's leaking into the other batter's box for a ball.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Java.
No, go ahead, Speedy.
I was going to say, when you were texting me to come back on the show, you mentioned you had some saying that about the World Series. Everything you were saying on the last time we had you on came through. So tell us to these Yankee fans and all the other Yankee fans listening what that was.
Hey, all I know is you got to run that back and find out whatever deal we made, because I said when the Dodgers beat the Yankees in the World Series, we're coming back and you guys are doing something. So run that episode back and figure out what you owe me. But
I'll do that for you after the show. But yeah, what are your impressions?
Let me get to that in a second. I want to hear you real quick on that in the playoffs versus June, whatever you want to say. But what your thoughts?
I don't think it's really like what we do in spring training is like Greg Maddux was great at this. He would set guys up in spring training because he would feel like he would approach those guys in a different aspect. So then they would get comfortable and be like, oh, this is what he's going to do, right? Well, then he knew that, and that's how he did that. I don't think it's necessarily the same way because when you face him in June in the middle and your game 82 or whatever it is, but when you get to nut cutting time in the playoffs, it's different. It's either die or go home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some dudes step up, some dudes don't. Like there are guys that have made a career being in the playoffs, and that's what they do, and that's just they answer the bell, right? I sucked in the playoffs sometimes. I was good sometimes. I wasn't, but there are some guys that just step up, and that's what they do. And it's the same thing I talked about on our show. Stanton, they literally wanted him out. And then what does he do? Like he steps up, and that's what he does. Is Judge is that he's the Dan Marino fact, right? Great regular season, never won a Super Bowl.
If he doesn't get one, he will literally go down as probably one of the best, if not the best, comparing how you look at a guy like Barry Bonds, who his stats are just on another level, but might be the best natural hitter of all time, whatever you want to say. But there's old Dan. So I think it's interesting because, and this is another, I guess, kind of feel for you. I think what I said in the middle of the season was the Yankees wouldn't win. I didn't like their team from a overall team aspect of the defense, it's like a power bat, and if it doesn't show up, good luck. So I felt like they were like a NBA team that shoots threes, and if they're not hitting their threes, there's nothing else they can do. And to Stanton's credit, I was like, you got a guy that they tell don't even run fast. You're going to pull a hammy and we won't be able to have you at all. I'm like, how do you win a World Series with that? And I went through their roster and I love Stanton. So I was so happy to see him do that. As just a fan of baseball.
He's done it the whole postseason. Every time
He's been doing it for the last 3 years. Yeah, he's been putting up the numbers.
Jake, everyone wants to blame Aaron Boone. They should blame another ex-New York manager, Luis Rojas, for sending him home.
You're not wrong. I think see, that was my question though. Like everyone blaming Boone. I look at obviously the big glaring issues in Game 5, that inning, the Cole not covering. I look at that, and maybe you can tell me. I do not think a big league manager. He's not called the head coach for a reason. He's the manager. He manages, I think, the player. He's not out there coaching anybody probably on how to field a ground ball, how to field a fly ball. He's there to manage the players. Dave Roberts says, trying to put our guys in the best position to succeed. That's a manager's job. You have the best players in the world on your team. And that's why you have pitching coaches and hitting coaches and base and all the coaches for all the stuff. Your job is to manage. And when I watch that play right there,
he was pointing at an old man. He was pointing at old man to run to the plate.
At the same time, too, I understand what you guys are saying, but over 90% of those plays, if you go back and look at everything, Rizzo has taken it himself, and that's kind of what it was. And that was like when we played with Tex. Tex always took it. We knew that. Like, we knew that. I made 31 starts in 2009 before we won the World Series. Tex took everything first. And obviously we're ingrained to cover, but at the same time, when you have him doing that, you're like, well, shit, I don't really have to cover because I know he's going to get it.
But okay, up by 5, down 3-1 in the series. You got 2 outs. You got the pitch you need to get out of a jam, and you're not World Series in your head. You're not like, I know Texas got it, but fuck it, I'm covering just in case. Like, that's the mentality that was missing to me. It's like that was your whole season. That game at least. It obviously fell apart right after that, but you got a chance to leave that inning 5-0 against Mookie Betts, and now next you got Teoscar and Freeman, and it's like that. You have to look at that and go,
it would have been 0. We talked about it. Yeah. It would have been 5-0 still.
So the mentality is like, I think that's where it's missing. And that almost makes me feel, just again, as a fan, I'm always talking about the man in the arena with the most respect, there is. And I know my spot in this, but I just look at it and go, that's a team that I feel like didn't really believe maybe they could even come back from down 3-0. And it was just like, oh, well, like if you believed it, it's like every pitch I'm moving, I'm doing this. But that's what I saw there. I just saw a team that obviously didn't want it the same way that the Dodgers did, but that was a tough one for me. And I don't know if that's a manager thing that gets their whole team ready to go, or if it's a team captain or a leader or just a veteran on the team that gets them going, like Papelbon choking Harper back in the day. Like, that's just a guy that wants to expect
a crazy one.
Yeah.
The Mets and Yankees fans collectively both hate on.
By the way, we are talking to MLB content creator and owner of Roughshot Supply Company, Jake Savicki. And by the way, go check him on Instagram, TikTok. He's got a huge following. He's putting up some of the biggest numbers. The guy's got great content. Go check him out on Instagram and TikTok. And to go through the offseason, there's a lot. I mean, Soto, where does he go? I mean, that could be that's obviously a center of attraction right now in the offseason. And then Corbin Burns, where does he go? How does the diamonds fall? Does Soto fall first? Everybody's saying that he is going to fall before Christmas. There's some people, Jabba came out and said that he doesn't believe it's going to fall until the new year. But everybody is saying that before the winter meetings or during the winter meetings, this could be done, sealed, and delivered. He could be going wherever he is deciding to go to. What are your thoughts? Where does Soto go?
Well, obviously where the money is. I think that's I'm with Jabba on it being a longer process because of that. I don't know your feelings on him. I don't know him personally. He got his World Series at 19. I think he is the toughest out in all of baseball. I don't even think it's close. He's incredible at the dish. He's a Gold Glove nominee a couple times in the right field, but I don't see that. Maybe he is. Maybe I don't see enough. But to me, you're paying for that at bat every game. You're paying for that at bat 4 or 5 times a game, which great. But I just see him as a guy that got his World Series at 19 years old. He's been there, done that, and he's at a point where he just came off probably the best year you could have in his position. Unbelievable. And he also is coming off a year of watching Ohtani sign for $700 million, and he's going, my turn. It's my turn. And I seriously think take away, a team like, I don't know, Colorado that randomly decides to spend $700 million on him. I don't think he would do that, but the next closest big market team that's ready to do that, I just think it's a bidding war, and that's all he cares about. So I do think it'll drag on past Christmas.
You've been in the game too. What do you think Boris's aspect on this is?
Well, I haven't been in the game. I'm just a dude that makes some videos, so that's why
you know the game.
I know the game, the contracts and all that. Boris, I think he's in an interesting spot with. Well, he's got a gold mine in this negotiation.
We have the Corbin Burns too.
Yeah, but
and he has Snell.
He's got everybody.
He has them all, but
he didn't have me, asshole.
Shame on you then.
I made my money. I didn't need Boris.
That's because you're a lawyer. You make your own deals.
That's it. I don't know. I think I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know. I don't know if he changed. He doesn't change who he is. He's done his thing for so long. Will. I know last year in the Snell wasn't happy with his whole deal and the way that turned out, and holding out for as long as he did, and then it turned into what it was. I don't know the approach, and like I said, I sincerely believe that Soto would go to him and go, "Hey, look, here's 5 places I'm not going. Now go find the most money out of the other 25. I don't give a shit."
Any surprise teams that you think could do it? Because the usual contenders, the Mets, the Yankees, teams like that.
I don't know. The Dodgers, I think, are out. I don't think the Dodgers will. Well, not. I shouldn't say out. I don't see him going to the Dodgers. I don't see them wanting him that bad.
I don't think Dodgers fans want him that bad anyway.
No. The Dodgers are just I think they're a chemistry team, and they just seem like they have such good chemistry that sometimes mixing guys in like that, who knows? But I don't know. What do you guys think for a surprise team?
Well, there were a couple that were mentioned. Last week we heard the Texas Rangers being one, the Padres were another, and the Phillies, I think, is like a small surprise ones. Any thoughts of those?
Well, and like the Angels just signed Yusei Kikuchi for $63 million. So are the Angels in there? Like they're trying to get that base of like let's just be honest and let's be real here, right? We're getting Japanese guys to come over here to play because it's the greatest players in the world, right? And so now you're bringing these guys in. You got Yamamoto that literally Ohtani deferred all of his money to be able to get Yamamoto. And you still have other guys that have proven in the Japanese league that want to come over here. Now the Angels bit the bite early and signed him 63. Well, now you got Sasaki that's still on board in Japan. Like it's crazy how it's going. I don't know where Soto's mind is because, Jake, you're right. Like he's already won. He's already done that. So is he chasing the money or does he want to go win?
How about breaking records? If he goes and plays in Yankee Stadium, he could go down as the greatest baseball player ever to play. I mean, Yankee short porch. I mean, he put up his best numbers. I mean, it makes a lot of sense why he would stay with the Yankees because he can do it in pinstripes. If he wins with the Yankees, he becomes a god. And then when he puts up the numbers and he goes down, he's 26. He'll be 27 next year. I mean, 5, 6, 7 years down the road, he's putting up 50 home runs or 45 home runs, hitting almost 300, and he's hitting doubles and triples. And I mean, the guy's going to go down as one of the greatest Yankees of all time. And when you're being compared to Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, and Derek Jeter, and Aaron Judge, I mean, you will be the face of the Yankees in 3 or 4 years. It won't be Aaron Judge. It'll be you. So that's the only reason why I would see why he would decide to stay with the Yankees and maybe take a little bit less.
But you think he wants to be the face?
I do. I really do believe he wants to be the face.
So that's why I don't think he's going to stay with the Yankees because Judge is already that.
For right now, for 3 years. And then Judge is going to be a DH and he's going to be the guy. And he knows that. Stan will be gone in 3 years because his contract will be up. And he will be the guy that moving forward and driving those fans to come and see him. And his jerseys and everything like that. I think I don't know if he'll be a Yankee. I don't think he will. I think he goes to the Mets. That's where I think he is. I've been saying that before the season even started. Even when the Yankees brought him in, it's a 1-year rental. He's going to the Mets. But don't be surprised if the Blue Jays sneak in there, because this is a team that tried to get Shohei Ohtani last year. Guerrero and all these other guys, they said, oh, we won't even take the money. We'll wait until next year, and then you can pay us next year. Just get a Shohei. Shohei goes over there to the Dodgers, screws the Blue Jays. I could see the Blue Jays swooming right in and landing a guy like Soto, who's going to get like over $700 million. I wouldn't be surprised if the Blue Jays pay him over $700 million.
I don't think he's going to get 700.
He's an everyday player.
The Blue Jays are crazy and desperate. It's not. You can't rule it out.
And the
'cause their
guy
GM
never
is on
gets
the hot
hurt.
seat.
He never gets hurt. He plays 100. Last year, he played 150 some odd games.
Right.
I mean, a guy always plays between 140 and more games. That's what you want from a superstar player. He's going to be on the field, and he's going to produce, and he does produce. So
how long does a contract have to be for him to get 700?
I think 11 to 12 years. That's where I think that's around where he's going to get that kind of money.
He's 26.
Yes.
Yeah. It's likely going to be a 12 to 14-year deal from everything I'm hearing, but 700 will probably have to spike to 12, something like that.
It has to be 12 to 14.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like when we say that, like, okay, so he's 26, he'll be 27. Okay, so he's going to play at 27, and then you have. So what is he going to do? We look at Pujols. Mind you, Pujols might have been 50 when he signed the deal, but it was never a fun at bat. Don't get me wrong; it was never fun. But what was he going to do? Soto plays the outfield. Is it just going to turn into a DH? And are you paying $45 million a year for him to be a DH, or what do you like? I don't understand it. In the aspect, does he deserve it? Yes, 100%. But where is he gonna fit in after 32, 33?
Pujols is the 95% of guys after the age of 34. That 95% of guys, if you're not a pitcher, are going to do exactly what Pujols did. They're going to have a Hall of Fame career for the first half, and then from age one injury, and you don't quite bounce back the same. And it doesn't even have to be a bad one. And all of a sudden it's, my hamstring, and now I can't fire my backside the same for a while. And now I'm getting mentally screwed. Like, there's so much beyond that age. I'd rather pay Soto $500 million for friggin' 7 years.
7
and
years.
go,
100%. 100%.
I'll do that. And then just let him go on a year to year after that and do his thing. I just can't.
Will he do that? That's the question. Will he take that 7 year? Because he already said, and what I've heard is he wants a 10-year contract.
But that was my Boris question to Jake, and two, in the same aspect, is like, give me 6 for 50 a year. That gets me to 32.
I'll give you 71 mil to be higher per year than Ohtani, but I'm going to have you for 6 years. There you go. You're the highest paid player. You can go to a place where, and I think you guys are exactly right on him, where he already got his World Series. So he will never be the Dan Marino. And now it's about how much money can I make? And I do think he cares a lot about his own legacy.
And he's already made over $80 million already.
Yeah, he's there. It's just, like I said, I think all the contract comparisons, the Ohtani, it all happened perfectly for him to make a boatload of money, because we just saw the biggest contract in history 10 months ago, 12 months ago with the Dodgers. And now it's his turn after coming off arguably the best season he could have had in his position. So I do think that's what he cares about, money and legacy, probably in that order.
The contract that you said, $71 million for 6 years, it was still total $424.
Yeah, that's fine, because he's going to be 34 years old when it's over, and I'm going to go, have a good one. And if you're still raking, I'll give you 2 years for 50 mil. How about that? 100 mil for 2 years.
But that's crazy. I mean, if you look at what these guys are bringing in now, I mean, and look at our quarterbacks. I was saying this the other day, that we're going to see the first $100 million a year player probably in the next 10 years. We're going to see a quarterback make $100 million a year. It is ridiculous what these guys are bringing in. I understand owners are bringing in a ton of money with the endorsements and TV deals and with the CBA rules and all that other stuff. But how about the minor league players? All these players that right now in the minor league that are not getting that kind of money, they're making like 50, 60,000, barely making ends meet. They have to support a family. They're traveling around the world. I understand I understand the whole situation, making it to the big leagues, and I know, Joby, you're one of those guys that you gotta move up to get where you want to go. But some of these guys, they put the time in and they're not making enough money. Why can't the MLB or the CBA kind of figure out how these guys could be making over $100,000 a year? I don't understand. There's so much money to be made that I think that the league should be finding ways to help out those minor league players.
I would love to see everybody get paid as much as possible. I'm not one of those guys that wants to see the owners line their pocket. I want to see the talent line their pockets. But I also, there's a piece of it that's like, you're in the minor leagues for a reason, and you're in the big leagues because you're the best in the fucking world. You deserve to get whatever you get. And grinding through the minor leagues is obviously not easy. And some guys are victims of circumstance. They're sitting behind somebody and they're good enough, but they're behind somebody that, you know, you're waiting for an injury that never happens. You're waiting for a trade that never happens. It is what it is. But I would love to see them get paid more, because they could get paid a lot more and still not.
I'm saying about $100,000. I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying. They could get that, and it wouldn't affect the single leaguer. Yeah, you don't have to take any money away from the big leaguers to pay those guys more money. And I do agree, but I do think that I like a little. That's also why I think guys play this game so hard with such passion, because when you're in the minor leagues making, man, what was it when you were playing? What were you making?
$1,100 a month.
Yeah, $1,100 a month. The only reason you're doing that is because you're like, man, if I get to the fucking big leagues for 6 months, let me get 6 months on that, and then.
But at the same time, I can't have that argument because I was a first round draft pick, so
yeah. You had some money in the pocket.
Signing bonus, yeah. So I'm a different anomaly, but you're 100% right in that aspect, because there are dudes that aren't first round draft picks that grind.
Mm-hmm.
And they go about their business, and exactly what Errol said, it's like, you know, they're subsidizing doing other stuff and not even making, like, they don't even have to file taxes because they don't make enough money.
That's so crazy.
And they're working and doing other shit. And it's crazy to me. Now Major League Baseball's done a better job now. They don't have to pay for housing now, and they take care of that. But still, at the same time, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to take home like maybe 20, 25 grand maybe, but I'm grinding for 7-8 years trying to just get a cup of coffee. And there's so many times where you look at guys that are just in the wrong organization and they're great at what they do, but you got a guy that you've just paid $150 million that's playing first base.
Yeah.
And that's your position. And that's just kind of the way the game goes. We literally had a dude drafted. So my son is a freshman in college, and we had a kid get drafted in the second round, shortstop. He went to the Cincinnati Reds. He's behind Ellie De La Cruz. What are you going to do, dog? You ain't beating that dog. You ain't beating him. You ain't beating him. So that's to your point. And it sucks that you got drafted by him. Yeah, you got a decent paycheck, but are you going to get to the big leagues? Probably not with that team.
No.
It ain't going to happen.
Especially watching Francona come in and say, I'm going to make him a shortstop, less errors, better. You're like, oh, well, there goes. See you later.
100%. And I love Tyson. And I am so happy for him that he got his money and he signed for 3.6.
Mm-hmm.
Great for you. But at the same time, what are you going to do, dog? What are you going to do? You're not better than him.
He's not
run like him.
Worse.
And he ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
Because they have his rights too. Until he gets to arbitration, but they have him for 6 years.
Yeah, that's tough. That's the thing with I mean, how many big leaguers are there in the minor leagues right now that just aren't getting it? I mean, tons of them, and they're in the wrong spot. That happened to my buddy. He was with the Rockies for 6 years, got traded to the Dodgers in the minor leagues, never made it to the bigs. But Trinidad Hubbard, if you remember him, he called him like 6 months after they traded him. And that was his boy. Like, yeah, my friend was Hubbard's boy. He's like, hey, man, shit. He's like, we would have held on to you for another 2 months, man. We just dumped everybody off, brought all the minor leaguers up to the bigs for the year. I'm like, he's like, don't tell me that. Now I'm with the Dodgers at the time when they had Matt Kemp and all these fucking guys. He's like, dude, I don't want to. Don't tell me that. And he ended up, quitting, that year or whatever. But
old Matt Kemp.
Matt Kemp and I we have the same birthday.
Well. Maddie was dating Rihanna. Who else was he dating? I mean, this guy was dating like how many singers in the industry? I mean, this guy, I think he jumped from one singer to the next singer to the next singer. I mean, the guy was out there just enjoying himself. Good for him, by the way.
I saw a great stat on him. It was literally, I don't know what year that was that he dated Rihanna. Let's say 15. He was, I think, a Gold Glover in 14. He had like a negative defensive runs in 15, and then a Gold Glover in 16. I'm like, this guy just said, "Nah, I'm good. I'm out for the year.
I'm out."
This guy's one lucky SOB. I can tell you that. I mean, anybody that hangs out with a billionaire in her bed, and he's doing the things that he was doing, but then he just completely fell off. Matt Kemp completely fell off. And I remember when the Yankees wanted to bring him in. Remember that? I was like, please don't. Please do not bring that guy in. So
no.
And that was the Yankees. The Yankees would bring these guys in when they were done. I mean, like, what the heck? And because with Brian Cashman, I know Jabba can't stand him, but Brian Cashman used to do that. He would just pick these guys and hopefully they show up in the second half of the season and put up the numbers that you wouldn't even imagine and say, oh, he's a genius. He's an evil genius. Meanwhile, his evil genius hasn't won a championship since 2009. So that's a whole nother story. But Jake, we really appreciate the time. You're fantastic. I mean, I check out your content all the time. The following that you have is ridiculous, and your business. Tell the fans a little bit about your business.
Yeah, just that's I make all this content is like, if you see it, the editing is about 0%. I film a little. I basically give my opinion on whether a pitch is a ball or a strike, and people eat it up. I don't know why, but they do. But that's all just kind of fun for me. The audience grew and it's a cool community. But yeah, I own a clothing company, Roughshot Supply Company. It's just kind of, I guess you'd call it a streetwear brand that, we just kind of,
send us some swag, dog.
I'm going to it. I'm going to. You give me an address at the end of this. I'll send it out there for everybody.
Go.
Yeah, it's just
we'll wear it on the show. We'll wear it on a show. We'll show, especially hats. If you have snapbacks, I wear snapbacks all the time.
Oh yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. That's the idea.
And he's wearing a fitted right now.
I tell.
He's wearing a fitted right now.
I had to wear the Dodger hat for Errol after our last. I tried warning him 6 months ago, man. I tried warning you.
Stop.
I'm a lifetime Adidas guy, so that always stays.
There you go. I like it.
And I'm a lifetime Puma guy, and that's what always stays.
They don't pay you though. Adidas does.
And also, Puma doesn't make Philadelphia Eagles jerseys.
That's awesome.
Well,
there it is.
That baby.
Take
a look at that baby.
Take a look at this clip and just soak it in.
Yeah, well, guess what? Bish, you're a Yankee fan. You should be posting this up, you idiot. You absolute idiot.
From that logic, you shouldn't have posted any Saquon stuff earlier then.
Well, from that logic, I am. And here you go. Old Saquon from the Eagles. But anyways, Jake, we really appreciate that. We'll get you on again. Absolutely. Send us some of the stuff. We'll definitely promote it on the show. And again, everything that you do, I've been following you ever since you've been on the show. And we listen, obviously our personalities are very alike, especially some of the stuff that you post up. It's very, very funny. So keep up the good work.
Yeah, I really enjoy being on here. So anytime, reach out, I'll reach out. But great chatting with you guys. Jabba, nice to meet you. And
yes, pleasure.
Keep doing your thing, man. There's not enough high energy shows out there. This is like I wish everybody could come on as a guest and just feel the energy you guys are putting out. So if that's pumping through somebody's radio waves, you guys are doing your job. It's good
stuff. Eagles, fly.
Sit your ass down.
You tell him, Jabba.
Poor Giants.
Shut up.
Awesome.
Jake, thanks, dog.
Yeah, good stuff, guys. Thank you.
Jake, we got a bet. We still haven't made a bet. The whole bet is if I win, Jabba's got to shave the whole beard off. And if I lose, I got to shave my head. So we haven't figured out the bet yet, but one of these days we're going to figure it out. We're going to make the bet. And that would be really, really funny.
When was the last time you didn't have a beard?
2013 when I left the Yankees.
Wow.
So 11 years ago.
Wow. You'd just look like a whole different person.
I'd look like I have a white band that says free mouth hugs and giving out candy.
That beauty. Look at this baby.
No, that's terrible.
You do what I do.
Terrible. I got beautiful hair. I've got beautiful hair. Java, let's see your hat.
I don't have any.
Hey, me and you both, man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a good bald. Why do you think I own a hat company? Come
No
on.
shit, right?
Hey, listen, I don't own a hat company, and I got hair. And I've got like 400 hats. I love collecting hats. I love hats. So everybody said, you know what's so funny? Before we go, everybody used to tell me, my grandmother used to tell me, don't wear hats, you'll go bald. Well, guess what, Grandma? I've been wearing hats since I was like 6 years old, and I haven't gone bald yet. And I wear hats all the time. So there you go, Granny. You were wrong. Okay, so I'm one of the lucky.
I guess we get our hair from the mom's side. The mom's side, not my fucking grandpa. That dude died at 98 with a head of hair like you wouldn't believe. My dad's got a great head of hair. I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Come on.
So does my dad. My dad gives me shit. He's like, I still got my full head of hair. I'm like, shut up, Dad.
Oh, Papa, dude. Say hello to Papa. Papa Chamberlain.
Yeah, he's watching. Pops is watching. He's feeling better. He's feeling better. So we're good.
Yeah, we go. Jake,
all right.
We'll talk to you, buddy.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, send me some shit, dog.
I will. I'll have Speedy. I'll have you guys text me and let me know where to send some stuff.
Speedy will get in touch with you, Savicki, and
right.
I'll send you some of our stuff too. When we get our stuff.
Do.
Absolutely.
And we'll send them some ice shakers too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
We'll be shaking on some ice. There you go, Speedy. Yeah. Go ahead, sport it, Speedy. Stick it up your ass, Speedy.
Sticking a metal container up my ass.
We can't even see it, ding dong.
Yeah,
what the hell are you doing?
I'm trying to.
Oh man,
your green screen's not having it.
Or how about we just do this where actually we can see them?
There we go. Twist. There we go.
Ours works.
The invisible can.
We'll dance.
The bronze one. There it is. I like it.
Anyway, the jar.
I need one of those.
Well, Jake, we'll send you one.
All right, boys. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Jake Savicki, ladies and gentlemen, go check him out on TikTok, Instagram, Roughshot Supply. It's fantastic, and his stuff is definitely to die for. And by the way, his takes on TikTok, hilarious.
They're so
absolutely hilarious. So go check him out. Jake Savicki, Savicki. Fantastic. Really is good content.